That night, after the children had fallen asleep, Mr. Audu sat quietly in the darkness of his small house. The faint glow of a lantern illuminated the room as he stared at his four children. Ramat lay on a mat beside the triplet, all of them sleeping peacefully, unaware of the storm in their father's heart. Mr. Audu let out a deep sigh. What have I done? He whispered to himself. His eyes filled with tears as he thought about the ruined farm. He had borrowed a large amount of money to expand it, believing that the harvest would finally lift his family out of poverty. Instead, the flood had destroyed everything. The crops were gone, the land was ruined, only the debt remained, waiting to be paid. And now his children were hungry. Slowly, he lowered his head into his hand. Is this why God made us wait 26 years for no child? He murmured bitterly. If I had known this suffering would come, perhaps I would never become a father, he said. The word broke his heart the moment they left his mouth. He looked up again and stared at his sleepy children. There was Raman, his miracle, his firstborn child, the child whose birth had brought joy to an entire village. Mr. Audu remembered the day Raman was born, the songs, the celebration, the laughter. Back then, he had believed that all his troubles were over. How wrong he had been. He looked up to the sky. He said, God, why always me? I was mocked for 26 years. Now again, I will be the father who couldn't feed his own children. Tears dropped out of his eyes. Raman was my joy, he whispered. I thought life had finally smiled on me. I never imagined we would face something like this. After a long silence, he turns towards his wife. Mrs. Audu was sitting quietly in a corner, her face heavy with worry. Dear, he called softly, is there any food left for dinner? Mrs. Audu hesitated before shaking her head. No, she said. The single word pierced his heart like a knife. Mr. Audu closed his eyes. No food? Not even enough to feed the children one last meal before bed? For several moments, neither husband nor wife spoke. Then Mr. Audu finally broke the silence. Dear, he said, his voice trembling, I have made a decision. Mrs. Audu looked at him. What decision? She asked. Mr. Audu swallowed hard. I will send Ramans to Zara's house. The woman stared at him in shock. What? I have no other choice, he said. No, dear, Mrs. Audu said immediately. We have only known Mrs. Zara for a short time. How can we send our son away? Mr. Audu looked towards the sleeping boys, his eyes filled with tears. Because I cannot watch him starve. The room fell silent. Miss Audu felt her heart break. Raman was only 7 years old, just 7. The thought of sending him away was unbearable, but the empty kitchen, the growing debt, and the hunger in the house made the future look even more threatening. After a long pause, Mr. Audu stood up. His shoulder looked heavier than ever. Without looking back, he walked towards the doorway. As he stepped outside into the cold night air, he spoke quietly. Raman will go to Zara's house tomorrow. Mrs. Audu remained seated, staring at her sleeping son. Tears rolled down her cheek. Little Raman slept peacefully, unaware that by this time tomorrow, his life would be beginning to change forever. Oh my God, what do you think will happen to Raman at Zara's house? Okay, let's continue.